Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In today's session, we will look at 15 advanced Grafana interview questions. Now, whether you're gearing up for a job interview or you're just looking to expand your knowledge, then this video is for you. Once again, before I start off with the session, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. So let's get started with this. The first question I have is, what are Grafana plugins and how do they extend the functionality of Grafana? Now, Grafana is all about your plugins. So these plugins, these are simply your extensions which can be used to add new features, to add new visualizations, or to add new data sources to your Grafana. We can also use this to integrate Grafana with external systems, customize your dashboards, or create your own custom visualizations. Uh, Now, these plugins, these are written in JavaScript and can be installed and managed through the Grafana plugin framework. So, simply put, your Grafana plugins can be used whenever you want to extend the functionality of your Grafana, like adding new features or new visualizations or adding new data sources. We can make use of your Grafana plugins for that. The next question we have is explain the concept of Grafana templating and how it can be used to create dynamic dashboards. Now, Grafana templating, it allows us to create dynamic dashboards. Now, this can be done by defining variables, and we can use this to filter and modify the dashboard content at runtime. So basically, here we make use of your variables, and then we can filter these variables. We can modify the dashboard content at runtime and create our own dynamic dashboards. Now, templating variables, we can make use of it to query the results, query the static values, or get the external data sources. And now this enables the users to create flexible and interactive dashboards that can adapt to changing data or user input. So whenever we change the data or whenever we change the user inputs, the dashboards will dynamically change. So it is very flexible. So that's where we can make use of your Grafana templating. The next question we have is, how does Grafana handle authentication and authorization for users and organizations? So Grafana, it provides us with various methods that can be used for the authentication and authorization purpose. So we have the built-in authentication. We can make use of your LDAP. We can make use of your OAuth, among other methods that are available. Users can be assigned to organizations, and the permissions can be defined for the users at the organization level or at the folder level or also at the dashboard level. And Grafana also supports your RBAC, which is your role-based access control. And this allows the administrators to define very granular level of permissions for the users and the groups of your Grafana. So there are methods that are available which can be used to manage the authentication as well as the permissions of the users. The next question we have is, what is Grafana Loki and how does it complement Grafana for log aggregation and visualization? So Grafana Loki, that is Grafana's own service that is available for us, and this is simply a log aggregation system. And this is mainly designed for the cloud native environments like AWS, Azure, GCP, and other cloud native environments. And this provides us with a very lightweight, scalable, and cost effective solution for collecting the log data, querying the log data, and then storing the log data as well. So Loki, it integrates seamlessly with Grafana, allowing the users to visualize your log data alongside other metrics that are available, and also create very powerful dashboards that we can use for monitoring and troubleshooting. So your Grafana Loki is simply a log aggregation tool that can be used to like collect the logs, store the logs, run queries on those logs, and fetch the data. The next question we have is, describe Grafana's alerting system and how it can be configured to notify users of critical events or anomalies. So Grafana alerting systems, we can make use of it to mainly allow the users to define alert rules as to when the alerts needs to be triggered. So we can define the alert rules based on the query results, or we can also define the thresholds as to when the alerts needs to be triggered. Now, the alerts can be configured to either trigger notifications, and we can have various channels for this. So we can send notifications via email, we can send Slack notifications, we can have pager duty notifications, and many more options. Users can also customize the alert notifications, the escalation policies as to when the escalations should happen, and also we can have suppression rules. And this will ensure we have a timely and effective incident response. So, overall, making sure we are monitoring everything, and if something goes wrong, notifying the stakeholders on the issues, and then notifying the team responsible for that particular component. We can make use of the alerting system for that. The next question we have is, how can Grafana be integrated with external data sources and APIs to fetch the data for visualization? So Grafana can be integrated with external data sources. So it provides support for a wide variety of data sources, databases, and also cloud services. And also you can have your own custom APIs. So we can make use of your data sources like Prometheus, InfluxDB, MySQL database, and cloud services like Amazon AWS CloudWatch, Google Cloud Monitoring, among other options that are available. So as a user, we can configure the data source, which data source you want to use. So this will again be a plugin, and this will allow us to fetch the data from external data sources and then query it using the Grafana's query language, which is your PromQL or SQL for visualizing the data. So there are lots of options that are available for this. The next question we have is, explain the concept of Grafana annotations and how they can be used to annotate events or changes on dashboards. So Grafana annotations, they mainly allow us to add any contextual information or any events to the dashboards. Now, these events could be when are we doing the deployments, or there are any outages, or there are any incidents. We can basically add all these things to the dashboards by making use of your annotations. So annotations can either be created manually, or we can generate it automatically based on the external data sources like Prometheus alerts. Right now, these annotations, they provide very valuable context for understanding the dashboard visualization and also correlating changes with the events that happens within the application. The next question we have is, what is Grafana's support for multi-tenancy and how can it be used to manage multiple users or organizations? So Grafana's multi-tenancy, it simply supports the administrators to create and manage multiple organizations within a single Grafana instance. So you'll have one instance of Grafana, and then within that instance we can have multiple organizations that we can create and start managing. Now, each of these organization will have its own users, will have its own data sources, its own dashboards, as well as the permissions. And this enables the organizations to securely share the monitoring and visualization resources while also maintaining isolation and control over their data. So the organization will have all the control over their monitoring and visualization resources, and they can choose with whom they want to share their resources, and they can share it securely. This way, all the data is isolated and the organization will have control over their data. The next question we have is, describe Grafana's built-in data transformation capabilities and how they can be used to manipulate and transform query results. So Grafana, again, it provides with built-in data transformation functions, and this will allow the users to manipulate the data and also transform the query results before we visualize that data, right? Now, the built-in functions can include filtering the data, aggregation, renaming, and also some mathematical operations that we can perform on the data. Data transformation, they mainly enable the users to clean the data, format the data, and also analyze the data to create more meaningful and insightful visualization. So the point of data transformation is to have meaningful and insightful visualizations. The next question we have is, how does Grafana support high availability and scalability for large scale deployments? So Grafana, we can deploy our Grafana in high availability configurations. So for this, we can make use of techniques like running the Grafana instance behind load balancers, creating clusters and replicating the databases. So horizontal scaling is supported by running multiple instances of Grafana behind a load balancer, and then distribute the traffic behind this load balancer, and this will ensure we have redundancy. Additionally, we can also design the architecture to be horizontally scalable, allowing it to handle large volumes of data and users. So basically, running multiple instances of Grafana behind a load balancer, so that the load balancer will distribute the traffic. That way, we can ensure we have redundancy and the Grafana instance is highly available. The next question we have is explain Grafana's support for dashboard versioning and how it can be used to track changes and collaborate on dashboard designs. So Grafana, it again supports maintaining the multiple versions of your dashboard, and this will allow users to keep a track of all the changes that we are doing to the dashboards, and then also collaborate on the designs for this dashboard. So we can work with other people and collaborate on the designs that we are doing. Now users can also create new versions of the dashboards, compare the changes between different versions of the dashboard, and if required, revert to the previous versions of the dashboard as well. So versioning enables teams to maintain a history of all the changes that your dashboard has gone through, and also collaborate effectively on developing the dashboards that are needed. So basically, we can maintain multiple versions of the dashboard. That way, if required, we can go back to the previous version or just look at the history of the dashboard changes. The next question we have is, what is Grafana's support for fine-grained access control, and how can it be used to restrict access to sensitive data or resources? So Grafana, it supports very fine-grained access control. For this, we can make use of your RBAC, which is your role-based access control, and we can also manage the permissions for the users or groups. So as an admin, we can define the roles with very granular permissions for the users and also the groups that we have. And then we can also control the access to the data sources, dashboards, folders, and organization settings. So who can work with the data sources, who can make changes to the dashboards, all those things can be controlled. So RBAC enables the organizations to enforce the necessary security policies and also restrict access to any sensitive data or resources. So basically, we can define fine-grained access control by making use of your RBAC. The next question we have is, describe Grafana's support for custom visualizations and how users can create and integrate custom plugins into their dashboards. So Grafana, it allows us to create our own custom visualizations using plugins. All right. Now these plugins can be developed using JavaScript, CSS, and HTML, and then we can integrate them into the Grafana's dashboard editor. So you can create your own custom visualizations and add it to the Grafana's dashboard. Users can also create custom panels, custom data sources, and visualization types, and this will help us to extend the Grafana's capability and also tailor the dashboards based on the specific use case that we have or the requirements that we have. So we can create our own custom plugins that we need based on our use case or requirements. The next question we have is, how does Grafana support integration with external authentication providers such as OAuth or LDAP for SSO authentication? So Grafana supports integration. So again, here we make use of your plugin. So we can integrate Grafana with external authentication providers. So it can be your OAuth, LDAP, SAML, as well as your OpenID Connect, which supports your SSO authentication. So as a user, we can authenticate using our existing credentials from these external identity providers. And this will help us to simplify the user management and also improves the security by centralizing the authentication. So if you're already using your authentication mechanism, we can simply integrate that with Grafana and start using the existing credentials to log into the application. The next question we have is, explain Grafana's support for data source plugins and how users can extend Grafana's capabilities to visualize the data from custom or proprietary data sources. So Grafana again provides us with a plugin framework, And this allows us to integrate external data sources into Grafana for the visualization purpose. So data source plugins can either be developed to fetch the data from custom or any proprietary sources and then expose that data to the Grafana's dashboard editor. So you can create your own custom data source plugins if required. Now this will enable us to visualize the data from a wide range of data sources and also create a unified dashboards for monitoring and analysis. So customizing it the way you want it. That brings us to the end of our 15 advanced Grafana interview questions. I hope you found this video informative and helpful for your interview preparation or learning journey. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more content and hit the bell icon to get notified of the latest uploads. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.